Chinese SEO is our topic today. I'm taking you on a short journey to the digital Middle Kingdom. What you can see here is not a political statement. This is demonstrating where in the world Chinese is the primary spoken language. The most important of these regions where Chinese is the primary spoken language is mainland China, with its 1.4 billion people population. They are speaking Mandarin and they're writing in simplified Chinese characters, which is a slightly simplified version of the traditional Chinese characters. Then there is Hong Kong with a population of 7.3 million people. The spoken language is Cantonese, a Chinese dialect that is quite different from Mandarin. And the written Chinese is traditional Chinese, so the traditional Chinese characters that are slightly more complicated than those written in mainland China. Hong Kong is located over there where you can see the black dot. Then there is Taiwan with a population of 23.4 million people. The spoken language is Mandarin, so just like in mainland China. But the written script is traditional Chinese, just like in Hong Kong. And then there is Singapore with a population of 5.6 million people. But Chinese is not the primary spoken language. They also speak Malay, Tamil, English. And the Singaporean Mandarin is spoken by 2 million people, and they're writing in simplified Chinese characters. For comparison, the city of Beijing has around 21 million people. The city of Shanghai, 24 million people. And the city of Tianjin, quite next to Beijing, still has a population of 13 million people. Let me give you an example of how different Chinese in different regions can be. The word for pineapple in Mandarin Chinese is
菠萝,
and this is the Mandarin Chinese version that you speak in mainland China. The Chinese characters that you can see here are simplified Chinese characters. The Hong Kong version, where you're looking at the Chinese characters, the first one is still the same. The second one is kind of alike in the top and different in the bottom. This is the traditional Chinese version of the same word. And it's spoken like
菠萝.
And then there's Taiwan, where they're speaking Mandarin Chinese, right? But the word is quite different.
凤梨,
This is because languages in different regions develop differently. Just like English in the United Kingdom versus English in America versus Australia or South Africa, for example. Let me give you one more example. The smartphone is called
手机,
in mainland China. That is 2 Chinese characters, basically saying hand machine. For Hong Kong, you see it already changed to a much longer word, going 4 characters long. And in Cantonese, this sounds like
小腿電話.
Now let's move over to Taiwan, where we also see a 4-character word. So different than we had this before. It's not the same length as in mainland China. And when you're looking quite closely, the second 2 characters seem quite alike, right? The spoken version of this word is
行動電話,
in Mandarin Chinese. Let's test these keywords, how we call them when we're doing SEO, in Google search. So the first one that you can see here shows search results ending with .com.hk. So Google understands that this specific word is for people in Hong Kong. Searching for the other 4-character word, we can see Google is listing websites that are targeting Chinese for Taiwan. And when we're checking the 2-character word, then we can see that even Google is showing websites ending in .com.cn. So Google understands that those 3 different words meaning the same are just words for different Chinese-speaking regions. Let's focus on this region that has the most Chinese speakers of all, that is mainland China. The search engine market share, as StatCounter, one of the most trusted resources to show search engine market shares, shows that Baidu is the most important search engine in mainland China, followed by Bing, followed by 360, or you can also call it Haosu, Qihoo, Sanyuling. It got so many different names, but it's always the same search engine. Why is there no Google? Well, in 2010, Google announced it would no longer censor its search results in China and would redirect all search queries from google.cn to google.com.hk. Shortly after, the government decided to block Google services at all, so there was no accessing of google.com, Google DE, Google CO UK or anything anymore. So people using Google really declined in numbers. But let's focus on the desktop search engine market share in China. Their StatCounter says that Bing is the most important search engine, followed by Baidu, followed by 360, and there's even a small percentage of Google. Why is there Bing in the top position? Well, even the best statistics are worthless if you're looking at the wrong data. So let me shortly explain you where StatCounter is getting the data from. StatCounter offers a free website analytics solution just like Google Analytics. And every website that includes their free analytics version is sending data back to StatCounter, and they're anonymizing this data, putting it all together and providing these statistics. That's a really cool approach and very good solution if you are targeting the right websites and enough of them. Let's have a look at Build With, the service that shows us what websites are using, which technologies they're using. And for China, they saw a number of 758 websites using StatCounter. Let's compare this with Google Analytics, and there we see it's 121,000 websites in China using Google Analytics. That's a lot more. And looking at the local solution of Baidu Analytics, Baidu Tongji, it's already 789,000 websites in China using Baidu Analytics. Let us put this into a relation. In June 2024, there were 3.91 million registered websites in China. 789,000 are using Baidu Analytics. That results in 20% of those websites using Baidu Analytics. So if the statistics were based on Baidu Analytics, this would be a pretty good statistic. Google Analytics is used by 121,000 websites in China. That's a market share of 3% of all registered websites. And when we're looking at StatCounter with their 758 websites in China, that's only 0.02% of registered websites in China using StatCounter. That's really not a lot. When we're looking at our recent Baidu SEO ranking factors correlation study, where we were looking at the top ranking websites for quite a number of keywords, we even encountered only 0.01% of those top ranking pages using StatCounter. That's not relevant for us. So we decided to create our own China search engine market share data from our clients. So we were using our clients' analytics, Baidu Analytics, Google Analytics, and the different sources that we got from our clients. Of course, we anonymized the data, so we don't want to expose any of our clients' data. We anonymized this. We only took data from all Chinese websites, as it would look very different when we're looking at multilingual websites, for example. There, the Google share would go quite up. But we were only looking at all Chinese websites. for mainland China only. And there we saw a market share of Baidu being responsible for 45% of the traffic in summer 2024, followed by Bing with a responsibility of 33% for the traffic that was brought through search engines to the websites, and followed by Google with a responsibility of 10% for the search engine traffic going to those Chinese websites. Well, Google. Did we just talk about Google being banned in China? Well, yes, that is the case. But despite of being banned, still a lot of people in China are using Google. And they are able to do that by making use of services like proxies or VPN services. And most of those companies in China are using local VPN services. There are actually VPN services provided within China. And we believe that Google, for example, knows quite a number of these services and knows their IP ranges. That's why even in Google's Search Console, we can identify for Chinese websites quite a number of people being located in China. That's how probably Google finds this out. However, even when we're looking at the Google Search Console keyword data that is driving the traffic to those websites, we can identify its simplified Chinese. So we are quite certain that those people searching on Google and finding our clients' Chinese websites are people from mainland China. But why build websites at all? Isn't China all about smartphone apps, Douyin, WeChat, and so on? Let me give you some China statistics here. There is an internet penetration rate in China of 76.4%. That results in 1.09 billion internet users in China as of January 2024. That's already an increase of 11 million internet users within 1 year. Out of those, 1.06 billion active social media user identities were created in China and were present in the year 2024. And still 63.7% of all internet users in China use a search engine each month. That is 694 million search engine users. 694 million search engine users, that is 8 times more search engine users than Germany has in population. That is 10 times more search engine users in China than UK has living there. That is 10 times more search engine users in China than France has in population. That is 11 times more than Italy has in population, and that's 14 times more that Spain has in population. So ignoring SEO for China for your digital marketing strategy for China would not be very clever. Let's have a look at how Baidu SEO is done, and it's not much different in some ways from Google SEO. You need to take care of your technical SEO. The first step is probably using the search engine webmaster tools that are in place. If you're looking at Baidu, look at the Baidu webmaster tools. Implement Bing webmaster tools, Sogou, 360, even Shama, and even Google Search Console, as they have quite a market share. Make use of HTTPS. Get your website responsive. Looking at data from the Baidu SEO ranking factor study in 2020 compared to 2023, there's much less websites referring to a mobile alternative. That means much more websites today are actually responsive in China within 2 years. Make use of HTML5, the semantic version of HTML. Take care of your headline structures. Get this one H1 in place in the first position, followed by H2, and so on. and to make sure that your website is well internally linked, so the crawlers can find all the important pages. Make use of keywords in your title tag. The exact match keyword usage in the title tag was found by more than 50% for short-head keywords. That means for very competitive keywords in the title tags of the top ranking pages. The less competitive, the less important that is to have it exact match. And make sure that you use your keyword actually in the body. We're looking here at the broad match keyword in the body. So it could be split up, it could be some kind of scattered, but you have to use it. But don't do it over obsessive. An exact match keyword density of less than 1% was found in the top ranking pages on Baidu. And there are backlinks. They heavily correlate with better rankings, but not just in the count of referring domains, but also in quality when we're looking at the quality factor, or the quality metrics data for SEO rank, for example. When we're looking at the Majestic citation flow, when we're looking at the Majestic trust flow, they all show that the higher the positions, the higher is the score. And then there are differences to Google SEO. For example, when you're looking at which pages are ranking in the top, then we see that for the top 1, 2, 3 positions, there is almost, looking at the green bars, in 2023, a chance of around 50 or even more on position 1% that Baidu would position their own services. What is their own services? Well, Google offers a lot of services already, but Baidu is making it a little different. They don't have their Android, they don't have their Office solution. What they're offering is more like user-generated content service, like Baiku, which is their own Wikipedia, like Zhidao, which is their own Quora, like Wenku, which is a file sharing platform, Tieba, discussion forums, Baijiahao, a news aggregator. There's a lot of services focusing on user-generated content for different search intents, for different user intents that Baidu is offering, and they tend to favor their own services for the top rankings if they're matching the search query. And when you're looking at the top 500 websites in China, those most important 500 websites by traffic, then you can see that the first 3 positions have an 80% chance of being taken by Baidu owned services or the top 500 websites in China. So there's not much chance for a regular website's ranking. Of course, the lower the position, so going into 5, 6, 7 and so on, the lower is the chance for those top 500 and the higher is the chance for normal websites to get their rankings, but it's still not a lot of space. Let me show you this here.
精密横器
This stands for precision scale. I don't want you to understand all these rankings here. I just want to show you how the SERP looks like. And so I minified it. That's the whole first SERP, the first search engine results page of Baidu. And when we're looking at those red colored spaces, that is all ads. You can buy yourself in there, but you need to pay for it. Those blue spots, this is their Baidu owned services. The yellow spots are the top 500 traffic websites. And this one green spot here is another website. So there's very, very little chance for regular websites to get ranked for this keyword. But there is a clue. Most Baidu services and many of the top 500 websites by traffic in China are UGC, are user-generated content services. That means that you can put your own content on these pages and get your brand ranked in the top search results of Baidu without having your website there. So in other words, you can get yourself to the top by piggybacking on websites like Zhihu.com. But there are also ways for regular SEO, so you can get real traffic to your own website. This here is a screenshot of the Baidu Webmaster Tools of one of our clients. And in a period of 30 days, from September to October, they reached 175,000 impressions. That means they were seen 175,000 times in the Baidu search results by real people. And they received 45,000 clicks from these impressions. So 45,000 visitors to their website. Those regular dips that you see there around September 15th, September 21, September 28, these are the times where there are weekends. But this very large dip here from 1st October is actually the national holiday when nobody's working at all. And then there's more complicated stuff, like when you're running multilingual websites, for example, you need to take care of some special technical tweaks in order to be visible in China, be it that you're running .com for the international, .cn for the Chinese, for example. You need to make sure that they all work together if you're working on different domains for multilingual and Chinese, that these redirects are set up quite right, that Baidu has access to the right pages and maybe not to the wrong pages. You need to take care of the Great Chinese Firewall, as that would not allow some services like social medias to be accessible in China, while other services that are specific for China would be, that you would want to take into account. But this does not only count for social media, this also counts for technologies that might not be as fast in China. And if you want some help, we are there for you. Chang Kun, our founder, Ching He, our head of search, myself, Marcus Pensek, as Director SEO, and the whole team here at Jademont would be willing to help you out with your China SEO tasks. Let me tell you a little about Jademont. It was founded by Chang Kun in 2012. We extended our services to PPC and social media marketing in 2015, extended our services to Chinese e-commerce management like Tmall, Taobao, etc. in 2018, and we hired myself in 2022 and opened a new location in Tianjin to be closer to our North China clients in 2023. Apart from that, we have some more locations in Shanghai, in Hong Kong, as representative offices. If you want to learn more about SEO for China, look up our book SEO for China on Amazon. Search on Google for our Baidu SEO Ranking Factors Correlation Study 2023, and you can download it for free from our website, of course, jademont.com, or just send us an email at hello@jademont.com to ask for inquiry. Thank you very much. Bye bye.